Hey guys, so I'm Cryptoinsightuk for those of you who don't know, and this is going to be a very different video to anything I've produced so far. In this video, I'm going to give you a bit of a background about me as a person, my life, how I got into what I'm doing now, and yeah, basically that's essentially it. The idea of the video is just to share with my community and my friends that I've made over these years a bit more about my life, give you a bit more of a personal understanding as to who I am as a person, and hopefully inspire some people to be able to do what they want to do. Excuse any background noise you might hear. There's construction work going on next door for those of you guys who don't know. But yeah, let me get into it. So where to start? I grew up playing a lot of sport. I went to university and studied physical education and school sport to be a PE teacher. I then went and worked in Camp America with children with special educational needs. Really enjoyed it. It's very rewarding, hard work though. After that, I came back and worked some small part-time jobs in the UK, and then I went traveling to South America. I worked a ski season in the French Alps, while the whole time playing competitive gaming. So I really loved Call of Duty specifically. My best ever Call of Duty finish at a LAN event was top 32 in Europe, so it's pretty good. I'm basically a nerd. I used to stream Call of Duty, all that sort of stuff. In fact, I used to stream way back in the day. I used to have like a HD PVR, if anyone knows what that is. I was like top. I was in like 3-digit rank on game battles. Used to play tournaments, all this sort of stuff, online wagers. So yeah, when I got back from my ski season, by the way, this whole time, guys, I really didn't know what to do with my life. Had no idea. Everyone out there is getting jobs around me, telling me, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to get a job. If you enjoy it, that's a bonus, like all these sorts of things. Everyone needs money, and which is true. Like, I completely agree, everybody needs money, but let me get further on into my story and I can explain to you how my life's different now to how I used to think about life back then. So, after my ski season, I came back and I worked some part-time jobs in like cafes, bars, like office, the shoe shop. I started my own small company in the UK, created a brand of eco products called EcoBrew. Toothbrushes, mainly bamboo toothbrushes, a few other things like straws and kids brushes and travel cases, are all made from bamboo, which I imported from China on like a wholesale basis and supplied small retailers in the UK. I had no experience with business. Like, my dad owned a small company. I did some sales events for him. Essentially, that's all I knew. So basically, it was a big plunge for me. I looked online about loads of different things like drop shipping, made a few different websites, did some different drop shipping stuff. It worked okay, looked at Amazon FBA, didn't really produce any products for that. But yeah, drop shipping was okay. I was more right at making websites. It wasn't quite my gig. But in 2016-17, I also started to learn about cryptocurrency, mainly through the competitive gaming scene, to be fair. I owe a lot of my life to competitive gaming, and I really enjoy it even to this day. Shout out to all my gamers out there. So, fast forward 2016-17, like I was saying, and I started to get interested in crypto. I learned about Bitcoin, become essentially a Bitcoin maximalist because of all the reasons that everyone says, market cap, all these sorts of things, no other crypto can really compete with it, or as I thought at the time. Had a small bag, rode the bag up the 2017 bull run, thinking I was like Mark Cuban or something. Rode it all the way back down. It didn't have much in there in terms of like fiat value, but it was a lot to me at the time because I didn't have much like in my savings account. So it taught me a lot of valuable lessons. It taught me, one, that I'm an idiot, first and foremost, and two, that the space is extremely volatile. Two things that I really wanted to take with me going forwards. After this happened, I kind of lost a bit of interest in crypto, as everybody does when they lose money in any asset class. Didn't really have that much faith in it. I thought it was a pretty cool concept. In fact, I used to make YouTube videos back then. I've got about 10 YouTube videos that I made all the way back then. I still believe a lot of the same things now as I did back then. I don't think sovereign wealth is going to give up its control over the monetary system, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. I don't think we're ready as a human civilization to be decentralized. People struggle to run like day-to-day life, let alone trying to run the needs of a country and all these sorts of quite complicated things that happen like in day-to-day life. So I'm not going to get too deep into that because I want to just touch on my life really. So yeah, I got a bit more disinterested in the crypto space, started streaming gaming again, almost full time. and at the same time running my company. Obviously C19 comes around, and to be honest, I'm probably in the worst mental space that I've ever been. We get towards the end of C19, I think November 2020, and I hear about crypto again. Start to hear about it again, maybe September, October. And then I listened to a podcast, Raoul Pal and Anthony Pompliano talking about Bitcoin. When I was listening to that podcast, I thought, wow, you guys are so smart in terms of your understanding of the financial market that I'm pretty clueless about. But I actually think I've got a better fundamental understanding of cryptocurrency and the way the technology works than you guys do. So that led me to think, well, if that's true, then maybe I can help people learn. And I was already making small-time content about gaming, so I was like, why not? Let's make a video, see what happens. But one important part about all this that I kind of missed, I guess, and this is where it's going to get a bit like deep, is that, so as I said, my mental health was really struggling, and I was probably at my lowest point mentally. Just before I heard this podcast, almost to the point where I didn't want to be on this planet anymore. So this is a big overshare, but I think it's important because people need to understand this. Spent my whole life not knowing where I fit in, not knowing what I should be, trying to be someone that I wasn't really, but also worrying about the person that I should be all the time, which is quite a hard thing to worry about when you really don't know who that person even is. So it's a very confusing time for me. And I'm not going to say everything was bad in my life. My life was really good. Like, I've got a supportive like mother and sister, and even though my relationship with my dad is different, like now the relationship's stronger than ever. Since I've probably got a bit older, I guess, and started to understand that parents are just people too. But that's again a story for another time. So when I was at my lowest point, I heard this podcast, as I said, Anthony Pompliano and Raoul Pal. And I basically thought, oh, actually, I know a lot about this topic area in terms of fundamental understanding. So I'm going to make a few videos about it. And I did, and they started to get more traction straight away than the gaming videos that I make. And I was thinking, all right, like I don't know what this is, why this is, because my video production is still awful. If you're watching this video, you're going to know that. I'm not a born content creator, I just know about stuff and talk about it. So these videos started to gain traction, and all of a sudden, in 2 to 3 months, I was at 10,000 followers on TikTok, and I was thinking, all right, well, what's going on here? At the time, I was still running my company, streaming games online, and helping my dad, who was trying to sell his company in his warehouse, just like packing boxes and stuff. And I was just consuming so much content about crypto. Like, I have like ADHD, so when I get focused on a topic, like I live, eat, and breathe that topic. Like I was doing all the hours, like, and I still do that now because I absolutely love this topic area. Probably 16 hours a day on crypto. So what's my point is, around the time when I heard Raoul Pal's podcast, it actually gave me a beacon of hope. And he doesn't know this, I kind of told him, but like I don't think anyone really understands. They almost saved my life. So fast forward to my 10,000 followers, and I get offered a dream opportunity to become an esports lecturer and to help write a curriculum and coach the esports team at my local college/university for a good salary as well. So I was like, oh my god, like this is an absolute crossroads. And I actually started off by accepting the job. And then unfortunately I had to go back to them and decline because I realised that I'm actually doing something now that I've never enjoyed anything as much as this in my whole life, like being on this planet. And whether I'm spiritual or not, I don't know, but sometimes you just get a sign. And literally at about the same sort of time, I inboxed or DM'd Raoul Pal on Twitter. Bear in mind I had no followers on Twitter, and asked him to be on my podcast, and he said yes. And although I feel like I've skipped a lot of my story here, what I'm trying to say is sometimes in life you get opportunities to do things, and you just got to go with what you think is right for yourself. A lot of people around me were saying, obviously my supportive family were saying do whatever you want to do, but I hadn't known what I wanted to do in a long time. And I didn't make any money off TikTok, and I still don't make any money off TikTok. In fact, cash flow is something that I really struggle with even now. Like I would say I'm a good investor. I've 500%ed my portfolio since I started to do crypto full time. I do asset management on a small basis for some people. I've learned a considerable amount of things throughout this time, but cash flow is still an issue because I came into this space to educate people. I don't really like selling anything. I started a newsletter recently. I don't even like trying to sell that. Like, even though I know the value is like insane for what I'm providing, yeah, I don't even enjoy selling that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to skip on. So Raoul Pal. So I declined the Loughborough job because that's where I'm from, Leicester. It was Loughborough College. I declined the Loughborough job. End up going to do 2 mornings a week there and an afternoon a week, coaching their esports team. We came to a compromise, and that was an amazing experience. Like, I love working with children, even though they were young adults. I love working with adults. I love working in the gaming industry. Everything about that was just incredible, and I thank them so much for that opportunity. So Raoul Power then comes onto my podcast and YouTube, and this is where my life changes, because what I realized is that the person who'd saved my life is now wanting to talk to me for whatever reason, whether it was luck or whatever, but I actually believe that you make your own luck by working hard, and that's what I blooming did. And that's what I still do. But that day made me realise that whatever you want to do in life, you can do that. You've just got to believe that you can do it. And there's going to be hurdles, and there's going to be setbacks, and there's going to be everything along the way. But you've just got to persist and be driven and learn and take opportunities when they come your way, and you can genuinely do whatever. And the reason I'm making this video today is because the last day or so I've been reflecting quite a lot. I'm now in Bali. Imagine living in Bali because of crypto, and now how confident I am in myself and know what I enjoy doing. And I was looking through my social media posts and my analytics because I'm trying to create a pitch deck, because I might try and partner with some companies now. I think it's time for me to start working with somebody, because as I said, my cash flow is low, and everything I've learned over the last few years, I feel like I could really implement that to help a company grow, a small company, or help a big brand get some more exposure. Like for the last week on Twitter, even though I've only got 3,500 or now 4,500 followers, I had 1 million impressions because I wrote 2 threads about XRP, for example. I feel like I've started to understand social media, how that works, have a vast experience about crypto. I'd like to think that I know quite a lot about crypto in general. Obviously, no one knows everything, but my understanding of the space is pretty good, and I have a real good understanding of gaming and competitive gaming as well. So I was looking through all my analytics, and I realized that in the last month I've had 2.3 million impressions over all of my social media platforms. And I thought, wow, imagine just a 29, just a guy from Leicester who had nothing mentally, not physically. Like, I've been blessed, like my family are amazing, but mentally I was not interested anymore, to now, and just wanted people to accept me, and now started doing what I wanted to do and talking about things that I enjoy, and 2.3 million people have seen my content in the last month. And that's why I wanted to make this video, to share that with you guys. And I know I've gone on loads of different tangents and all those sorts of things, all the weird and wonderful like side tracks that I've just been down. But I just wanted to share this with everyone out there, because you can genuinely do whatever you want. Like, I know now through crypto I'm going to make a substantial amount of money, whether that's short term, medium term, or long term. And once I have made that, I'm going to start a charity to help people basically pursue their own passions and dreams, and work with people who have problems with mental health, because very easily I could not have been here. And I think that's something that needs addressing. I think that's something that's wrong with society. I think society doesn't fit everybody, but it can do, just not the same structure as what most people are happy to live under. So that's basically going to be the end of this video, to be honest. I'm going to sum it up here. I don't really have a point. or a conclusion, or really a structure. I just wanted to come on here, guys, and say it's all about persisting and striving to do what you want to do, because otherwise you just accept the system, and the system's never going to be, you're never going to feel fulfilled if you accept something you don't enjoy, in my opinion. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a bit of an insight into my life. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I know this is a very, very different video. But yeah, I hope it's something that people can take into consideration and learn from, and even if one person watches this video and thinks, okay, actually I'm going to pursue the goal that I want to pursue, and it changes their life, then that's worth it for me. Because I had that one person indirectly. But yeah, now it's my turn to pass that on. So peace and love. If you enjoyed, let me know, and all that good stuff with like subscribing and sharing and that sort of thing. But yeah, this is for my community and the people who wanted to know about my life. So peace up, A-Town down, as Usher would say.